Hello viewers, my name is Casey Eze and I'm your host on the Youth Arena program. Today we'll be discussing something very exciting. I'm sure you will find it very interesting. We'll be discussing the subject, harnessing the power of the media for effective leadership. And I have a very important person, a gentleman who is here in the studio to discuss the subject with me. He's no other person than Mr. Joshua Adeniyi.
Thank you for having me around.
Sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir. Joshua Adeniyi is the Chief Executive Officer and Lead Designer, Josh Business Creative Agency. Thank you very much, sir. Now, what does Josh Business Creative Agency entail? In
this age and time, this is a visual age. This is a age of the an age of the media, and most businesses are now going online. And if you want to be online, you have to be able to present yourself well. Yeah. You know, just like they say that you have to dress the way you want to be addressed.
Packaging.
Yeah, you have to package yourself. So if you are not well presented on the media atmosphere, it will be difficult for people to identify with what you want. Yeah. So what Josh Business Agency does is we design businesses, we develop businesses, we brand you with your logo, very important. That is your brand identity. We brand you with your business card. We do everything related to your business, office paraphernalia. We do your banner, we do your posters, we do your magazines. We do everything you need as a business to actually thrive.
Branding.
Everything you need to thrive in the marketplace.
Okay,
corporate marketplace. That's what we do.
That's wonderful. So, what sparked off your creative side, your creative person?
I like to say I was born with it.
Okay.
Though they say that you don't get born with anything, you have to develop it. But at the same time, there are certain times that some kids, they just displayed certain potentials. So I would say that I was born with it, and then as a raw potential, I had to develop it as well. Okay. You know, I developed my heart side, and one of the very vital ways that I love personally to express my thoughts, to express the things I have in mind is through design. You know, you can draw, you can sing, but I love to design, and thank God for the technology that we have around. It helps you to make design real good with different softwares.
Okay. Now, around the arts circle, what can you do? Like,
okay, personally, with art, I do a lot.
Okay, like
I sing.
Okay.
I draw. I paint. Like painting, portrait painting, landscape. To an extent, I do photography.
Okay.
I do design, digital painting, you know, branding, you know. In art, I do those ones. I think it already cuts across the major spheres of art. Yes. I do recording, I do video editing as well.
Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you very much for coming around. We trust we'll learn a lot from you.
Yeah,
now, moving ahead, have you been, we're talking about leadership, basically. Yes. Now, in the aspect of media, where you have a whole lot of experience, we believe, have you been in leadership capacities that you've been opportunity to serve, maybe in the media angle, designing, all of that, within or without church walls?
Okay, in several capacities within the media auspices, I've been able to serve. I think the first time I actually took on a responsibility was in 2012.
Okay.
2012, my department back in school in the university, I was one of the official designers for the class magazine, and the departmental brochure as well. Then in 2013, I joined up with GMO, that's Global Media Outreach. You know, it's a body of evangelists. Let me put it that way, believers who reach out to the world through the media. You know, so they get to collect people's information from the internet through their different needs and desires. Someone who needs to get saved, who has questions about Jesus, who has questions about faith, about sin, about masturbation, pornography, sex. You know, they get to collect all those information and then they distribute it to different professionals in those fields, believers who can handle them. So I was part of those people. Then in 2013, you know, I also established a publication myself, Nigeria Priesthood Publications, which I handled for about a couple of years, about 3 years before it went on, let me say, hibernation. Then in 2014, I was also part of a media team. I was in my fellowship back in school. 2015, I went to serve. I became the official publicity secretary in my fellowship, in the NCCF fellowship in my zone. 2016, I still served in that capacity to the end. In 2016, my agency kicked off officially. No, partially, but kicked off officially 2017. But I started it 2016. All the while I was working in all those media, arms, different media arms, different capacity. I was dispensing my duties, my responsibilities in all forms of media senses you can think about.
Okay. All right. Now, having been in a position of leadership in such capacity, we'd like to get your view, your perspective about what leadership is.
Okay.
Yes.
Personally, I would say leadership is simply service. If you are going to do justice to the topic of, to the concept of leadership, we would define it within the confines of service. Though the environment, the community we live in, has not exactly represented leadership well in that dimension. They have misconstrued the concept, and they have given us, should I say, half-baked products of what leadership is. Leadership is service, and when it comes to service, we're talking about value, rendering value. So, and when it comes to rendering value as well, it's a divide between two parts. We're talking about the person giving the value and the person receiving the value. So first of all, before you get to the part, okay, this is leadership, or who is a leader, the person who wants to be the leader has to grow, has to develop, has to understand his own vision. So I'm going to have to commit to someone else's vision if I see the person commit to his own vision. So leadership has to do with commitment to your own value, to your own visions, to your own precepts that you hold. That's
on the side of the person who is
on the side of the person who is leading. Or should I say, who wants to lead? Because before you get people who want to lead, they definitely have something you want to lead them into.
Yes, of course.
I studied philosophy in school, and one of those things we were taught in social philosophy is that a philosopher king, that is the person who is ideal to lead the society, is someone who came out of the problems of the society. So if I'm going to put an end to poverty, I came out of poverty. If I want to put an end to unemployment, I must have been a product, or have tasted unemployment. So a philosopher king, the ideal person to lead a society, is someone who has tasted the good side and the bad side of the society. Which brings us to the fact that before someone can actually lead some other people, then you should know what they are going through, or you must have gone through what they are going through. You understand? Then it means you can actually empathize with their problem. Then there's a problem on ground you want to solve. I want to solve the problem of girl child not being educated. I want to solve the problem of women being malhandled in marriages. I want to solve it means you probably have an idea of what it is. Probably your mother was, or you yourself, you've gone through it before, or you have or you've gone through the research, then you have a personal feeling about it, then you want to put a stop to it, or you want to grow people in the heart of business. Then you just know that, okay, there's a problem in society, our youth are not doing well enough in the aspect of business. I want to fix that problem. Then you begin to grow. I have a vision. This is my vision. I begin to grow in that vision. I have a goal. I have a dream. Then you begin to grow in that dream. You begin to study. You begin to read. You begin to understand the intricacies. You begin to understand the in and out of that thing, and then you begin to practice it yourself. Then you begin to teach others. So
an essential value or quality that every leader must have is vision.
Vision.
Just like you mentioned, and then he has to commit to his own vision for other people to be able to follow him.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you are trying to explain to us the two sides. This first, the side of the leader, then secondly, the side of the follower. You see, the follower cannot, as I said earlier, the follower cannot follow a leader if the leader is not committing to his own vision. That is, if the follower is actually sensible. A fool will always respond to a fool. Do you understand? And a stupid person will always respond, or let me say, let's go to the Facebook now, social media. You see a post that is totally stupid, and yes, you see like 10, 15 likes, or let's say 300 likes. Somebody will even love.
You don't even love it. So a fool will definitely respond to a fool. You understand? But on the ideal part of leadership, on the ideal part of followership, the follower should only follow someone who he or she knows will lead him to where he wants to go. Okay. So this is where I'm going. I want to grow in business. I want to grow in corporate identity. I want to grow in ministry, or I want to grow in female affairs. I want to grow in this and that, whatever area I want to grow in. I figure out someone who is already doing very well in that area. Who I see that, okay, this person is, his commitment to his vision is more than I can even outdo myself. Then I can follow. It is because I can't lead myself to that place. That is why I have to follow him. And by following him, I stand the chance of being a leader myself in that field and others following me.
So it will be safe to say that every individual is both a leader
and a follower.
Yes. Depending on the person's space at a particular time. You could either be following somebody, but as time goes on, the leader in him can be manifested.
Yes. I also want to cite an example. There's a very wonderful lady I follow on the social media, Instagram. You know, she offers very wonderful value. Very, very wonderful. I follow her because I see the value she renders. She's an embodiment of all I want to see myself doing in the corporate marketplace. Do you understand? Okay. No, I follow her because I see that she's doing very well in that field. Do you understand? And then I want to do very well in that field. And then you also have to understand that leadership in that realm necessarily does not interpret being at the top. Okay. Do you understand? So she's not at the top of my organization.
Yes.
She's not the one leading Josh Business Creative Agency. Yes. She's not the one. She's not the president of Nigeria, and she's not the governor.
But she has influence.
But she has influence from wherever she is. You understand? So in that point, she has become my leader, and thousands of people who are following her. So that negates the fact that leadership has to do with position. So leadership is influence. Leadership is being able to make people see what they themselves cannot see. So she has the vision that some people themselves cannot actually develop. Then she develops it, and people see that this is where I want to be, I follow. Or someone else has developed it and cannot get there themselves, and this person is already making the path, you know, and then
for others to follow.
This other person comes in.
I think we need to highlight something you just raised. Very important. Most people have not come out of the illusion that leadership is not a position. So you get into some agencies, some organizations, and then people feel they can't add value to the organization because they are not occupying any named position. They don't have a title and all of that. You know, they are not at the helm of affairs. They feel they can't achieve much, they can't do much. I think I would like us to throw more light on that in a few minutes. Leadership is not a position, it is influence. Just a little more light.
Miles Monroe wrote a book and called it 360 Leadership.
360 Degrees Leadership.
John Maxwell. It's John Maxwell, right? Maxwell, yeah. He wrote a book, and in it he was trying to explain how you can lead from the center of things, not necessarily at the top. So the person who is actually a leader is one who can actually lead in front, behind, and then on both sides. So you don't have to be at the top to lead. Now he drew a chart. The chart consists of about 8 arms, I think. There's the top, there's the bottom, there's the right hand, and then there's the left hand. Then there's also the intermediate parts. Now each one has a relationship with the other part. Now then there's that 360-degree leader in between. And now that 360 leader is not the one controlling things, but he has influence on each one of those parts. Now he influences his boss, he influences his subordinate, he influences his boss's subordinate, which himself is actually one of. And then it means at that point, even the boss cannot make a decision without consulting him. So he doesn't have to be at the helm of affairs before he can actually influence things. So the boss wants to make a decision very vital to the company's growth, they call him. And then because he knows, the boss knows that this boss has connection with this other person, he can influence this other person, he can influence this other person. So in that sense, this person, we can view him as someone who has developed himself to that point of adding value, even when you are not at the place where you have authority. So value leads to authority, but authority does not imply value. Value.
Can you take that again?
Value leads you to authority, because when you add value to people, people see you, they respect you, and they want to do whatever you tell them because they see that you command influence. But the fact that you have authority does not imply that you're actually having value.
A constitution and existing law can confer authority on somebody who doesn't know anything.
Who doesn't know anything.
Then people respect you because of what the laws said, not because you
have something to offer.
Not because you have something to offer.
Not because you have something. So that is the true relationship between the two different parts. So someone can be there, can be at a position and not do anything, not even a thing. But someone can be behind the curtain and is controlling everything.
So it's actually possible that irrespective of where people are in their organizational charts, they can have a level of influence. I think influence is the word, not control now. Influence. If they actually, they should, we are talking to our audience now, the issue is not looking for who to hand over positions to you. The issue is your ability to add value to yourself. So at the end of the day, everything boils down to how much you're able to add value to yourself, because nobody will do it for you. So by adding value, I'm understanding from what you're saying now, effortlessly, the person will start manifesting solutions to existing problems that will afford him the opportunity that he can never be hidden, and when there's an issue, he'll be called upon, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. And we are talking about social media or media in generally now. Media in general. I would like you to maybe just throw a little more light. What actually is the media? What actually is the media?
Let me begin like this. Before the advent of technology, communication used to be very, very tedious. Communication used to be very, very tedious, starting from taking transportation to a particular point. Let's say there's a conference you need to attend. Communication used to be very, 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 very stressful. Relating with other people was very, very tedious as well. But with industrialization, with technology, things began to pick up, and then we can actually relate with the term globalization. The term globalization is the term that explains the fact that with this technology we have, the world is being made a global village. Now, to explain the term global village, it means, if you look at the village, everybody knows everybody in the village. You understand? Everybody can reach everybody in the village. Now, the term global village means that the world is being made because of one factor. The world is being made a global village where everybody can give value and render service to any other person within the world. This same world. So the media becomes, or let me say the internet now, which actually houses majority of the media platforms. It becomes a saving tool for communication. And then it houses a lot of things. It houses the media, basically. It houses the media. Then social media came into the picture. That's always been. But then people started getting the idea of what social media is. How do we use the social media? Then at first it started off with, okay, let us just communicate. Okay, I can actually link up with my friend that we separated 10 years ago in the secondary school, and I can link up with my friend. Then people started seeing that even communication is going to get boring if all you just discuss on social media is my friend, how are you, this, we are organized party. What if corporate organization can actually use this social media, this same social media that is being used for flimsy stuff, and then they use it to really impact lives? You understand? Now, the social media is now being developed by different organizations. Now you have Mark Zuckerberg coming up with Facebook. We have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have WordPress, we have we have a lot of them. We have, in fact, YouTube is there. We have Tumblr, we have Fiverr, we have different platforms, different social media platforms with individual purposes. Now it means that a social media does not necessarily have to be a place where you just have to go and talk with a friend. Now someone can set up, you can do much more. A social media can be deliberately set up by the developer to foster or to enhance a particular ideology. So someone can set up a political social media. So all you come here to do is discuss politics. Someone can set up a forum, like the likes of there's this Nigerian forum, very popular Nigerian forum. People go there to just discuss everything. They discuss news, gossip, fashion, business, design, art, you know, everything is there. Then there is the Facebook, you hang out with people. And then it's been, the purpose of each one of these ones is being defined by two people.
Okay.
Majorly by the developer. Then secondly by the users.
The audience. Yeah.
So I can actually even develop if I'm not so good at developing the intricacies of my social media, I can just develop it. Okay, this is what I want it to do, but the users come in and change it. Okay. You know, recently, about last year, a Christian social media was developed for the sole purpose of connecting Christians around. Okay. Connect Christians around, and then you share the word. You know, but I think the purpose was defeated because, you know, people find it hard to just come to a place and all you just do is just talk the word, you know, just talk Bible. It's like a boring activity which is not supposed to be. But at that point we see that the original purpose of that particular website is defeated because the creator created it to be for this, then but people came here and just just mess it up and do. So the social media is a communication channel. The social media
is a communication channel. We'll hold it at that. When we come back from the break, we'll pick up right from where we left off. Thank you very much, viewers. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Hello viewers, you're welcome back. Before we left off, we stopped by saying that the social media is a communication channel. A communication channel. We'll get to know what that means very shortly. Over to you, sir. Can we get more understanding of what you meant by the social media is a communication channel? Okay.
As I introduced the topic, I was talking about the fact that, you know, before the advent of technology generally, yes, you know, communication was very, very, very stressful. Then industrialization came into the picture, you know, technology kicked off, you know, internet kicked off, social media started building up, people started developing skills, people started building up different platforms on the internet, you know, communication became very, very close. I also talked about the fact that globalization came into the picture by virtue of the internet, so the world became a global village where everybody can communicate with anybody everywhere. So you can render service to everybody everywhere. So the problem of space has been solved. Time is still there, but the problem of space has been solved. You get to communicate with anybody anywhere. In fact, it's cost effective. You know, the cost is reduced. All you just have to do is just have internet on your phone, or you are in an organization where internet is provided, and all you just have to do is just get connected, and then you are on. You can speak to someone in China, speak to someone in the US, in the UK, you know. So that way, you see that the channel is being effective. Okay. It's created for that sole purpose of uniting the world together. So I don't have to travel to the US to communicate with the client or to communicate with a leader, as it were. But Skype, I can just pick my phone, you know, do a video call on Skype, on Facebook, on WhatsApp. Videos, yeah. You know, I'm seeing my leader, my proposed leader, someone I want to submit to or something. I can see, or my client. You know, we can talk face to face. He sees and he can hear me. Yeah. Basically, generally about leadership, business leadership, political leadership, is being able to know the person. You know, the relationship between you and your leader, or you and your follower. And if that has been achieved through these simple means, I think the major barricade to influence and being influenced is broken. Okay. It's broken. All right, that's a very wonderful one. Then social media, talking about social media as a whole, you mentioned Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, what are all of them? You said Tumblr. When you said Tumblr, I was thinking of MySpace, okay. Several of them. Yeah, a lot of them. Many of them. Then some have gone, some have come, some are still coming. Of course, you know? Of course. Then before we came on there, you were talking about blogging and vlogging. Yes. Yes. Some few years back. Okay. Some few years back, you know, people became sensitized about you know, just bringing up gossips and news. Newspaper became something that it's only old men that literally just buys newspaper now. You know, people go online to read the paper. So blogging is basically just putting text online and people reading it.
Like e-newspaper.
E-news. So it can be anything. It can be my life that I'm just putting on my own space on the internet. Blogging. It can be someone else's life I'm putting there. Blogging. It can be about my dog. Blogging. You know, it can be about the food or my business. Blogging. So far I am doing what? I am communicating. I am dishing out content in form of particular text. Subject. In form of text. Blogging or pictures. Blogging. Now, as time went on, you know, people developed, you know, this reality we are living in now, this spatio-temporal existence. You know, people get, should I say, people just get tired by the moment. So the discipline, things. No, I mean, apart from that, the discipline that our forefathers inculcated 2 years ago, you know, the new youth coming now, they find it like, why should I subject myself to such
the question?
Yes, you understand. Whatever. So people find it very difficult now to read a long post. Now you have a post that's probably 2 pages. People are in a rush. People are not so patient to read what you have written, the real story. Now it means that you have to develop something faster, something that will be interesting. Even if you can even write your stuff to be very interesting as well, but who knows if it is interesting or not unless you read it. You understand? But people don't have the patience to even know if it is interesting or not. But what if we just present something very, very nice, something moving, video? So that's how vlogging came into the picture. So someone can just pick a phone and just record himself and do this and do this and do this. 30 seconds, he has communicated something he would have written in 3 pages. You understand? And then 1 second, and then even certain platforms have even limited, you know, and your video length.
Instagram has just disciplined, you know, folks.
That's to be 1 minute.
1 minute.
In fact, Instagram came up with 30 seconds. It started with 30 seconds.
So it was even an extension.
It started with 30 seconds. It was not recently, about I think it was early last year or so, that they updated the principles of operation there, and they extended the video length to 1 minute. You know, WhatsApp now, your status video cannot go more than 30 seconds. 30
seconds, yes.
I'm seriously praying they increase it too as well, so that you have time to actually.
You even see the creativity, the way it brought out creativity.
Even in that little 30 seconds,
in 30 seconds, 1 minute, you can get an entire message done and delivered. Like it's amazing.
One of the advantages I can actually see in the development as well of even the time constraints about is the fact that it brings out the creativity in people.
Yes.
So when I know that normally I'm supposed to probably gist or probably express some emotions, you know, to communicate myself, you know, but when I see that I only have 30 seconds to get this out, I just have to pick out the major and then the major information I want to pass out that really edify or affect or give influence to the person I'm trying to communicate to. I just have to pick out those points, and then before I know it, you know, it's on the internet. It's on the internet. The internet, the media has its advantages and disadvantages. But
let's talk about the advantages.
We are talking about the advantages. Let us sideline the disadvantages.
The advantages, we can't even finish, is everywhere. We might still touch it a little bit, but let's talk about the advantages of the social media. The media personally itself, it's an entity. It has to be, just like every other, should I say every other development, you have to learn it, you have to understand it, you have to know how it operates to be able to maximize it. You understand? There is this saying that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse. No, abuse can be anything. You know, if this table is meant for us to do what? To look, to put our books on or food. The moment I put my legs on it or I stand on it, I'm abusing the purpose of this table. Do you understand? This earpiece is meant to be in your ear. The moment you took it inside your nose, what is it doing in my nose?
Exactly. You are abusing the purpose of it. So the internet, even if people say, okay, let me just put anything there, it can be abused. You know, it can be abused. In fact, even the developers of different social media platforms have even put certain options for you as a user to be able to report another user who is abusing the purpose of the platform. So if this person is posting something irrelevant to what is allowed, because each platform has its own terms and conditions for uses, you understand? So if I am abusing it, you have the right to report me, to flag my, my post, and to red cross my identity, or whatever each platform has as its own term for reporting abuse of use. So that is it. If you don't know, or if you don't maximize what each one is created for, you end up, if you are a leader, you use it well, you end up just sitting down and just using what should have been a major tool for your influence, for your impact and adding value. You end up using it for films and stuff, just probably posting your pictures or doing some other stuff. So one of the major advantages of the media is that when you know how to use it, when you know how to maximize it, it goes a long way to increasing your personality. Okay. In whatever aspect you're actually based. If you're a businessman, you're able to sell. You're able to sell. If you're a businessman, you sell yourself. If you're a speaker, you reach hundreds and thousands of people at once. Okay. It has its own, dynamics. Yeah. Each one has its own dynamics. So you use it in respect to that area. Okay, I will stop it there for a minute. We'll go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the advantages of social media, so that our young leaders out there will be able to know why it's important they use these things for to advance effective leadership, and how they can actually do that. Don't go anywhere, viewers. We'll be right back. God bless you. Hello viewers, you're welcome back. It's still the Youth Arena. We trust you've been learning a lot all the while. We'll continue from where we left off before we went on the short break, the advantages of the social media. So sir, you've been schooling us on the advantages of the social media. Before we left, you talked about the the social media will help us reach more people. We could reach hundreds, we could reach thousands at a go. So let's pick it up from there. Are there other advantages that we get by using the social media as leaders? Yes. As a leader, as I said earlier, you get to add value. It's service, which means you have to render a particular service value given. Yeah. So if you are reaching hundreds of thousands of people at a time, it means first of all, these people are expecting from you. So it means the leader himself has to be disciplined enough to have the content. So if I don't have the content to give my thousands of people will withdraw from me. Okay. And since we already established the fact that the social media is a place where everybody is linked together, if the value I am giving this person is how to grow as a minister of the gospel, there's probably someone else who does it and speaks about it better than I do. Now, if I'm influencing thousands of people, and at a point in time, my influence begins to drop, they don't have to take transport fare to look for the other person, you know, or they just need to click on the search button, and then they search for what they need, and then they see some other persons, and they begin to diverge, you understand? So the advantage is that it helps you to discipline yourself. If you are actually maximizing it, it helps you to discipline yourself to give out the content you want to give.
And of course, before you give out content,
you have to ascertain your facts.
You don't get what you don't have.
You don't give what you don't have. So it means I have to make my research, ascertain my facts, because the fact I'm giving out, some other people, somewhere else, the Google is there. Google is there to search out fact. So if I say that, okay, what statistics shows that 2 billion people are hungry, someone can go online and search for the fact and find out that it's actually 3 billion, you know, and just falsifies it. So you can. The other advantage again is that you get instantaneous feedback. So this person, as I'm giving out the wrong fact, the person is confirming it, and then is giving me the feedback whether it is true or false. And you have to also understand that as the person is giving me feedback, he's not only giving it to me because he's giving it on his public sphere. Do you understand? So I am seeing it. Thousands of other people are seeing it. So if it's a negative feedback, as I'm seeing it, thousands of other people are seeing it. So the content I dish out to my people determines how well I am going to retain them.
I even think the feedback stuff also, it helps. It comes in handy in the sense that you could get testimonials of how you've affected people's lives. And of course, with testimonials, good testimonials comes bad testimonials as well. But staying on the positive side, you are able to, know how far you are.
And it gives you more motivation to even do more.
Exactly, you are motivated to do more because people are responding how positively you've affected them. Yeah. Okay, now how can we relate the advantage to monitoring trends? Is there an advantage?
Everything about this society has its own trends.
Okay.
Fashion has its trends, business has its trends, design has its trends, public speaking has its trends. There are certain things, there are certain themes. Like in this time now, the topic of emotional intelligence is what is raving on now. Everybody wants to talk about it, because the youths are becoming less intelligent by the day. So people need to be informed about how to manage yourself emotionally, how to manage yourself emotionally, not to fall to prey to certain things, So even in the speaking realm, public speaking realm, there are trends to it. So you get to know about these trends even with the media.
And even in the spiritual circle too.
Even in the spiritual circle. As a designer, I sometimes I don't get inspiration to do certain things, but I have to go on the internet to go and search for a particular concept, a particular theme, a particular design style, and I just see myriads of them. I see hundreds of them on the internet, and I just see these things. So I'm able to manipulate. I'm able to create my own out of it. I'm able to have an idea of what to do, even if I don't have an idea, So in the internet keeps you abreast of things. Yes. The internet tells you, okay, this is what is going on now. So even if you're a business person, you're a leader, and then in leadership, there's a particular topic that you need to eat. So for you to actually attend to the need of the people, there are people who are majored in psychology, reading human needs, emotions, and stuff. You are a leader, but it's not your job to do the psychology work. Yeah. Someone has done it. Someone has written about it on the internet, or someone has done a video about it on the internet. Okay. While researching about the trends in human development, human relationship, human attitudinal characters, and all those things, you can actually see this information, and you can develop on it. Yeah. Read more about it, understand more about it. That way, even if you are talking to physical people that are not online, you can actually even share it with them, influence them, and even create something totally different. I mean, our brain is very creative if we actually use it well. Yeah. So we can create something totally beautiful out of it, and then even the person who wrote the original piece actually even commend you. So the internet keeps you abreast of things. It lets you to know what's the trend. Yeah. So you can get what's the trend and create your own trend out of it. People create trends. Trends don't come from heaven.
You go study.
You have to study. You develop. So trends don't come from heaven. People make trends. Yeah. So I started this trend. This person likes it. This person likes it. Another leader somewhere sees it and like, wow, this is wonderful. You follow. So trend is something that comes by virtue of support from people. So the more people, the more viral it goes. You understand?
Now, thank you very much. We actually have a very limited time before we close for the program, and I'd like us to go straight into talking about how can a leader be effective by using the media platform.
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
As brief as you can, so that we're able to cover
the social media as is it's technology,
yes.
you know, and there are certain, it's like artificial intelligence. There are certain, you know, arithmetics, mathematics, you know, put into it to develop what it is. So there are ways with which you actually do some things, write some things, tag some things to actually be seen, be noticed, be understood, because millions of people are using this platform. So I can post my content today, and in the next 1 year, we find out that it's still 0 views. You understand? So how do you actually use the social media to influence people, to get people? We're talking about reaching out to thousands of people. How do you get the thousands of people in the first place? You understand? So the social media has come up with tags. Let me start with tags.
Okay.
Hashtags. You know, people go out there to look for a lot of stuff. If I want to go out, on the internet to search for anything, probably I want to search for, okay, designing this. What is the trend in design 2018? You know, it takes the word trend, it takes the word 2018, it takes the major word. Keywords. If I search, you know, how to break away from procrastination, it takes the word break away, it takes the word procrastination. So each person, as you post, you take major terms and you hashtag it. It goes to that hashtag. So when someone is searching for certain things, you can just go, okay, go of sport. So everything relating to sport comes out. How does the system know that this particular post relates to sport? Because the content has been programmed in such a way that it can recognize the word sport. So when I search for sport, it just goes and search for everything sport related. Hashtag sport, picture sport. You know, the algorithm is programmed to just figure out all those things. Also, getting likes and follows, there are different manipulations to that, you understand? But it still comes down to what the value you are offering. So if I have posted a video, let's go to vlogging now, which is actually one of those things that are really going around now, very, very trending. So if I have posted a video about myself, how is the system going to read my video to know that it's about me or it's about a value? So if I have posted, there is a section for what? For caption. Is the caption that the system is going to read to actually make it visible on the internet. So if someone goes on the internet and type about Josh, if I have put the caption under my video about Josh, when someone types about Josh on Google, Google brings up my own option as part of the other myriads of options, because definitely I'm not the only person who captioned my post as about Josh. So that's how you also get noticed. And now you also use your content stories. People like to read stories. So how do you actually present your value in such an interesting way that if the reader sees it, he'll be interested to actually finish it? Let's say we are not even doing video now, it is text. So I posted a long text. My introduction, just like we were taught in school, introduction, body and conclusion. The introduction leads me into the body. So how do I use that? How do I want to talk about politics. So I can actually, you know, form it. It won't be like a story, but it's going to caption the idea of politics so well that people who want to follow politics, they see the post and they start following.
So in other words, for effective use of the social media in promoting leadership, effective leadership, the leader who wants to use the media platform should add value in order to produce quality content.
Add value, produce quality content, and also know each social media is using, what are those markers that they use in publicizing oneself, which the hashtag is the hashtag cuts across all. Cuts across in Instagram, cut across Facebook, Twitter, Facebook, you know. Even when you are using your website, the WordPress creators, when you want to post, they say tags. Okay. So now, you put your tags.
I would like us to just touch a little bit as we close the episode. We have very few minutes to round off. Now, I want us to touch consistency, and then the importance of consistency in whatever we're doing, the importance of maintaining a position, not saying one thing today and saying another thing, and then we'll round it up by talking about the importance of adding value. Because if you don't have value, if you don't have content, quality content, by virtue of value addition, you won't even have what to post on these platforms, and you won't have people to influence or to impact. So just in 30 seconds thereabouts, let's talk about the importance of consistency and maintaining a position, and then value addition.
Well, let me start from maintaining a position first, then I get it into consistency. The internet, there are so many topics to, even let's say leadership generally, there are so many topics to talk about. I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that. So how do you brand yourself for people to know that this is what this person stands for? So what is your position on so matter? So if I am a feminine rights activist or something, I come and all my posts should be about feminine for me to actually stand out. So if someone is going to look for me, just search for self feminine, I should be part of the first 10 names of the first 100 that should come out. You understand? So I'm maintaining a position on the social media as a female rights activist. Yeah. You do understand? You know, I'm a business designer. All my posts go with the tag business design, brand design. So you can't search for Josh Joshua on Facebook or on Google now without seeing that identity.
It's a spiritual post, the identity. Is still branded.
So I am maintaining that position. I'm maintaining that position. That is one. And also one shouldn't be neutral when it comes to, as a leader. You don't stand neutral. You take a stand. You take a position. You know, recently the popular poet and author Chimamanda Adichie, she maintained a stand despite all the raves and the antagonism coming that she shouldn't have spoken like this, she shouldn't have been like this. Some people supported her, some people didn't. But as well, you can see that she actually maintained the stand. Whether it was a dent on her identity or not, at that point, for that time, for that almost 1 month thereabout, she maintained a position. And that actually, added something to her, that this lady is very strong. She's strong-willed. So it doesn't matter what some other person is saying. I said this because I am convinced of this opinion. I'm convinced of this position.
Is also directly linked to being consistent.
Yes.
Consistency.
So you have to keep saying that. Keep saying. That's why I said I have to start from here and enter into consistency.
About it.
You must be convinced about it. So let me explain more about the consistency. Social media works with consistency. It works with routine. So if I post today, if I want to be seen and noticed and known and understood, it has to go real good. It has to go real good. I know of someone who works almost 10 jobs in a day and still posts almost 10 times on social media. This person also increases our chances of being noticed or being known on social media. So consistency helps you to actually have more people, because the more you post more about the things you stand for, the more people come into the picture for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful learning from you, sir. Thank you very much. So the whole media space is a huge platform to expand leadership, to expand impact, and to expand influence. And the base of it is that the leader should get value, because you don't give what you don't have. Then you also talked about consistency being the hub of media impact and all of that. I believe our viewers have been blessed and have learned a lot. Thank you very much once again, sir, for sparing time to share from your wealth of knowledge.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And our viewers, like I will always say, our greatest joy would be for you to practicalize the things you've learned and put them to work. Let us know if it works. Of course it does. Till we'll come your way next time, I remain your host, Casey Eze. Don't go anywhere. Keep watching this station. Keep watching the Youth Arena program. Till we'll come your way next time. Remain blessed. God bless you.